What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm very excited to be sitting here talking to you guys again, like we were always supposed to. Last time we really did it was with Tarkov, but now we're back. We're actually playing World of Warcraft. And one thing I want to say right now is that this video series is going to be about Beast Mastery Hunter. So in Shadowlands, for the first time, we've made Beast Mastery Hunter, and all we do is PvP. For those of you who know me, you probably know that. And I want to help people get to higher ratings. Now, the fun thing about this is that Beast Mastery Hunter is a new class for me too. So I feel like, even though I'm not as good as, let's say, Jelly Beans or maybe Big Macs, I might still be able to realize what the problems are people run into. I run into loads of lower rated Beast Mastery Hunters as well. And I can see what they do wrong. So what I'm going to do is just talk to you guys about these games, show you the game, show you my mistakes, their mistakes, what we're doing well, what they're doing well. Then why a mirror match? Well, because there's loads of BM hunters in 2s right now, and I feel like if you can beat the mirror, that takes away a lot of really good little tricks for other comps as well. So I wanted to start with the mirror matchup, go through the game, see how you guys might be able to improve. If you have any tips for me, leave them in the comment section down below. If you want to ask me anything, I'd love to just talk to you guys about that kind of stuff. You guys might know me from my Tarkov content, and one of the things I like to do is teach people while I'm learning myself. So I'm pretty excited about that. One more thing, if you ever want me to look at your gameplay, just send me a message here on YouTube or whatever. We'll get in touch, and I might be able to do some VOD reviews or whatever. Other than that, please subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of these games, because I'll be uploading loads of them throughout the Duelist push. We already got the Duelist in 2, so the games are already recorded. Let me know which comps you struggle with, you want to see games against as Beast Mastery Hunter. So let's just jump into this one. Before I show you the game, I want to point out 3 things in a mirror matchup that are very important. Number 1 is always the damage. In 2s, damage is one of the biggest things. If you can the other healer before your healer goes that's a huge thing, and damage really contributes to that. Number 2 is if you play against a hunter and your vent here, one of your biggest abilities is down here, Flayed Shot, which makes your kill shot proc whenever they're not even low health, and it does 25% more damage. If you have the Feign Death legendary as a hunter, and another hunter uses Flayed Shot on you, you can instantly just Feign Death it, they get no value. So one thing you want to do, and this is something I struggle with still a little bit, is use your Flayed Shot either on the Resto Druid, or you want to use it on the pets of the hunter, so that it doesn't just get Feign Death off. That's a really big thing. And then number 3, I don't know how to use my hands anymore, no one cares anyway. You want to use your traps when it actually matters, but you don't want to put too much effort into getting the traps. If you're losing a lot of damage just because you have to go for the trap, in my opinion, I don't think it's worth it, especially against any healer except for Resto Druid if you play with the Resto Druid, because the Resto is always going to beat any other healer on mana if you play efficiently. So you might be able to just win straight through running down the enemy DPS or healer by winning on mana. So let's actually get into the game and point out some of the mistakes and some of the good things that happen in this game. So one thing you instantly see is that their hunter does not use stealth at all at the start of the game. So I just want to push out as much damage as I can right now. But one thing I do realize is that their Resto Druid is in stealth, and he is probably going to stun me if he's good. He's going to run in and stun me while his healer is, while his hunter is doing damage to me. So I just keep in mind, I don't use any of my offensive cooldowns. I build up as much barb shot stacks as I can right now, just because I want to push the Resto Druid out of stealth. So normally I wouldn't recommend just pushing out all your barb shot stacks at the same time, but here I think it's worth it just because of the fact that I'll be able to get their Resto Druid out of stealth before I need heals from my Resto Druid. So let's see what happens. Our Resto Druid stuns him, so I can still do damage to him, and he's locked down, which is really good, obviously. This instantly forces their healer to get out, because he will have to heal him use a cooldown or whatever, or take me out of the game for now. So that's exactly what happens. One thing I could have done here, which would probably have been it's quite even here. So here, I was thinking I could kick him. As you can see, my cursor is already there for the mouse over kick. But I see the Cyclone going on me while our healer is stunned. So I don't have a reason to kick this Cyclone, because what ends up happening is my healer is in CC. This is a minute cooldown, the stun. So they have already allocated a stun and Bestial Wrath. And he's cycloning me. So see what happens. I get cycloned. He uses Bestial Wrath and his stun and a trap. By the time I get out of the cyclone, Bestial Wrath is almost over. There's only 5 seconds left on the trap. He also commits his Nature Swiftness, I think it's called. I don't know. That's not what it's called. I don't know. More crit chance. I know what it does. That's what's important. He already allocated all his damage to me while I was in this cyclone, and 5 seconds of his burst is just gone. So now I just want to stay alive while building up my damage onto him. So instantly when I get out of this CC, I stun their healer, because he's out in the open. He's trying to go for cyclones on my healer. I need to stop that from happening. So I instantly pet stun him, start building up my damage, land the trap here on the Resto Druid, and as you can see, when our healer got out of CC after this trap, look at my health. I go to 72, I go up, I go up, I go up. There is no pressure on me. There's nothing. I'm at the same health when he gets out as when he went into the CC. So now we get the trap on their Resto Druid, and we actually get the Hunter under 30% health, so we get a lot of pressure. We didn't necessarily net any cooldowns, but it was still a good push from our side. Not too shabby. Here we get the kick on the Resto Druid, so the Hunter tries to get away. Because we got the kick on the regrowth, we won't be able to kick Convoke, but I don't think Convoke is that big a deal. It's a good heal. You can full heal someone, but it's not like that's going to lose you the game if you can't kick it. So I'm not too fussed about that one. Right now, we kind of have to watch out, because as you can see above here, you can see all the cooldowns for their team. He has trap available, but he doesn't have stun. So the worst thing that can happen is he traps the healer, our healer, and then he goes in to bash clone after the trap. So we have to kind of watch that. So here we get the trap, and I think this is kind of a misplay from our healer, because we still have Exhilaration, Feign Death. He doesn't have any damage cooldowns up or available. So he didn't really need to trinket that trap. But again, this is without voice comms, so not too big a deal. We get bashed, so we're still being healed. Not too big a deal, but we land the trap here, and this is a big mistake. As you can see, I trap, and then I barb shot. My pets are too close to the Resto Druid, and the stomp the pets do when you use barb shot actually end up breaking the trap on this Resto Druid, which is a mistake on my part. But we do have a lot of pressure still, because there's not too many hots on this guy. I don't know why, but that's just the thing. We get Thorns, not too big a deal. Here we don't really have any CC, we don't have any damage. We did pop the Bestial Wrath just to get some pressure. I like to use it on cooldown. Here we get stunned, but again, they don't really get any pressure because they didn't have CC on our Resto Druid. And that's something this team seems to be doing a lot, right? Every time they do use their cooldowns for damage, most of the time they don't have CC on the healer. And so it's basically just a wasted cooldown because our healer can just heal through it. The only thing that really does is that they have a little bit more mana because we have to heal through that damage, and they kind of use cooldowns and we don't. As you can see, we still have everything. But here, I saw that their druid and their hunter is pushing up. So he's trying to scare beast. He gets the trap. And now I know, okay, this Resto Druid is going to push in on my healer to extend the CC chain. I have to stop it. So I stun him instantly, keep my barb stacks up, and land the trap. But then, obviously, they commit their pet sack, so I end up doing the same. Didn't really need to, but I like to throw it out there every once in a while if I don't really feel like I need it too much, because it takes away a lot of the damage. We're not able to stop any of these clones, but our healer is now on full clone DR, and we are still at 75% health. They have no damage cooldowns really available, at least not Bestial Wrath. Our healer is on full Cyclone DR. It's actually going pretty well. And here's an example as well. If you look at the Flayed Shot, it's coming off cooldown in about 4 seconds, and I do think I actually landed on the Raptor. I have a mouse over macro for it, so here I mouse over the pet and use it on him, so that he can't feign death it. See, and we still get the procs from the pet. So here, when we do that, we get the Flayed Shot. Their healer is pushing away, but we have a trap, so I kind of want to land that. So I do the disengage into a trap, but our healer doesn't notice it and he maims him. So we just start building up our stacks, doing as much damage as we can. Here we use Bestial Wrath. I kick the healer. He uses Exhilaration, this hunter, but it's not enough. We get a 9.5k crit on kill shot, and we wind up killing them without them using anything but Exhilaration. As you can see, they haven't used Barkskin. If I go forward a bit, they've used Frenzied Regen, they don't have Trinket, Convoke, and Shadow Meld. These are the spells of his that are on cooldown, so he still had this Iron Bark, or whatever it's called, to put on his Hunter, and the Hunter hasn't used Turtle at all. So one thing we can take away from this game, and I kind of want to see the damage breakdown. I think I have it up here. I really do hope I beat his damage, because otherwise I'm making a fool out of myself a little bit, telling you everything's about damage. Okay, so here's the damage breakdown. We did beat that damage quite a bit. 30k, it's not even that noticeable, but as you can see, he was slightly higher rated than their healer, but obviously our healer is very good, so we are pretty lucky with that. One mistake their healer made is not doing damage at all. There's definitely times when you have all your hots up as a Resto Druid where you just want to do damage to the other team, especially in twos. But like I said, they died without netting any cooldowns of ours, and they really didn't use too many of their own. He used Barkskin earlier, but he got it back off cooldown right here. I don't think if he actually noticed that. He tried to disorient or roar of, well, I don't know what you call it actually, roar, the pets, but that wasn't enough because all our damage was coming from the kill shot. So what they should have done here, actually, this guy instantly, right here, if he sees the kick, just turtle. There's nothing you have to lose. Just turtle. This was actually a mistake on their part. So damage-wise, up until this point, we still had to kill him. So up until this point, it was kind of even. And as you can see, we just killed them through a nice setup. Just a little bit of CC, a well-placed kick. That's how it can go sometimes. So I really hope this game showed you guys a little bit about just playing BM in twos in general. Like, I understand that this is not a full guide on the rotation, this is not a full guide on how to do PvP or anything, but I do expect that once we've done many games from the 2.1k push to the Duelist push, that all of that together gives you a very good understanding of how you win these kinds of games, kind of the tactics you want to use when it comes to fighting mirrors, fighting like warrior teams, feral teams, rogue mage, and I'll try to just really help you guys through all of that while also watching my own gameplay, which is also something I very much recommend. If you have trouble winning games, just record your games. You can record OBS in like 360p. Doesn't really take anything away from your PC. Most PCs nowadays should be able to do that, and you can just look back at your games. So, a little bit of a recap. I don't know if I've said this before, but I do recommend getting an add-on or checking the top right corner of your screen. This little icon, every single time you get a stack of barbed shot, your pet has 30% more attack speed. And this is something a lot of BM hunters really miss, and this is something I have to work at as well. If you look at a hunter like Jellybeans when he's playing BM, he is so efficient at keeping his barb shot stacks up, it's actually scary. So that's something I just wanted to add. Then don't focus too much on the traps, just do your damage, and make sure to trap when it matters. Like the start of this game was a perfect example on their team when the stun into trap was nonsensical, especially with the clone on us. So hope it helps. If you like these kinds of videos, please subscribe to the channel. That would mean a lot to me. Please leave a comment down in the comment section down below if you want to ask me anything, like I said before. I'd love to help you guys, maybe watch your games, give you a little bit of tips for as far as I can, obviously. And yeah, cheers. Like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Eddy, out.